we're going to go find the laundromat and then go get groceries and prescription, and we'll be back. And we'll get something to eat while we're out too. They have a Dairy Queen in Cleburn, and a blast just sounded really good. Is it Dairy Queen that does the blast? I think it is. The one where they have to turn it upside down. So anyway, that is our day, and I better put this in a regular cup holder, or it will spill and slosh everywhere. I used to live in Cleburn when I first moved back in 2009. And I lived in an unincorporated area of Cleburn, just like right on the border of Keene. And it was really nice living in that unincorporated area. My closest neighbors were donkeys, and there were some alpacas and horses. I was heading for work one day, and going down the road, and I was maybe a block away from my house, and there was a horse standing in the middle of the road just eating grass off the side of it. So because it didn't have a lead or anything like that on it, I went to the closest neighbor that had a little horse corral on their property that was like right next to the road, and I told them, I said, yeah, this white horse is in the middle of the road, probably needs to go somewhere, and I'm not sure where it goes, but I don't have a rope or a lead or anything like that to lead the horse off the road. And so she came out and did it, called the sheriff, and they were able to find where the horse went. He went like a couple of houses down the street or something. Let's put it this way, a couple of ranches down the street, because I lived in the only house that was out there. Everybody else lived in houses with lots of property. So I lived in the only house that didn't have a bunch of property with it. So, and it was a converted house. It was a two-story house that they converted into an upstairs downstairs. And I lived in the upstairs. I loved that apartment. It was so very cool. I just loved that apartment. And I loved my landlord. He was awesome. He was a retired Seventh-day Adventist preacher, pastor, minister, whatever they called him. But he was retired, and he was the nicest. He was the nicest man. And so when I gave my notice, he was so disappointed. He said, "I was just hoping you'd stay till I wasn't here anymore." And and it's like, well, that's a nice thought, but my daughter's shipping out for the military, and I'm going to go stay in her house and take care of her animals while she's gone. Well, she was shipping out. It wasn't to go back over to Iraq or Afghanistan or any place like that. She was shipping out for warrant officer school, and she was going to be gone like 12 weeks or something. So I moved into her house and stayed there with her animals, her cats, and maintain the house and all of that stuff, and so that worked out well. And yeah, so anyway, that's kind of the main reason why I'm here in Texas, is because she was in the military and deploying and all that stuff, and had animals and property, and so it was just easier for me to move into her place and take care of her place till she came back, and then find someplace on my own. Except when she came back from warrant officer school, they shipped her someplace else, and I couldn't go to that someplace else where they shipped her. I think they sent her down to Temple, Fort Hood or something like that, and so she had to sell the house in Venus, and that's when I moved to Fort Worth and started my residency there. And she bought a house in Temple, and I went down and visited a lot. And then they moved her from Temple down to Austin, and or to an armory near Austin, somewhere near Fort Mabry or something like that. And so I continued to live in Fort Worth until she moved to San Antonio after she retired. And then, since I'd already been doing virtual appointments for 2 years, I'm just gonna keep the virtual practice and move to San Antonio also. And so that's how I ended up in San Antonio, to be close to my kid, because she was supposed to have some surgeries or something, and so I wanted to be close to her, as well as continue my practice in the state of Texas. So I have to run in and pick up a package, and then we'll be on our way to Cleburn. Okay, well, evidently I don't need those. Decision made. Okay, so my package was refused here, and I know that it says FedEx and UPS packages are accepted, but mail is not. Otherwise, I would not have had it sent here. I would have had it sent to the pickup thing where I picked up my other stuff on Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever it was that I went and picked that up, Wednesday I think. I would have done that. I would not have had it sent here. So, yeah. So they were, like paddle, bug zapper paddle kind of things. And so, anyway. Evidently I don't need them, and Thousand Trails made that decision for me, so we'll just do without them. I don't know, maybe bugs won't be a problem in New Mexico or Pecos. They're not too much of a problem here. I mean, last night there was a few of them when I took Winky out with the headlamp. Now we better get a map to travel by. Okay, so we're in Cleburn. Start.
Head northeast on Thousand Trails Drive toward Farm Road 933. Then turn left onto Farm Road 933.
Okay, there's a lot. And we're probably going to go up and pick 171 or 174 or something like that.
Farm Road 933. Continue on Farm Road 933 for 10 miles.
Okay, so the countryside going farther north resembles what we drove through coming up here. This part of Texas is pretty similar, starting around Temple. Kind of hilly, lots of trees, that kind of stuff. So anyway, we are on our way to do laundry, buy groceries, and pick up my prescription. And then we'll be heading back before the end of the day, and then tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, we're doing nothing. So anyway, we'll check in with you later. So I just drove by a dairy farm with this one. These didn't look like UFOs. This looked like, well, it did. It looked like one of those Tic Tac UFO things. With the covered with the white, with the tires on the top. It's silage. I didn't get close enough to smell the other ones, but I did get close enough to smell this one because I drove right by it. It's silage. The stuff that they're cutting down, manure, all of that stuff, I think mixed together underneath there. Because when you have a dairy farm, several hundred cattle, what do you do with all their poop? I guess you pile it up and you let it turn into fertilizer, and then somebody comes and picks it up and puts it on the field to grow the food we eat. So I don't know, but it has a pretty rank smell to it. Kind of reminds me of driving through Norco, California. Lots of dairy farms there, and it had a very distinct odor to it. So anyway, I'm pretty sure that's what's underneath those UFO looking things that we saw up north.